Hello, so welcome to War Report number 6 for this season 32. So I did this Karateka Mike style introduction because I used for the first time this season the hood in a fight in this war, and I really enjoyed the heavy attack he threw, so I wanted to showcase it. This war I'm taking path 9 as I have been doing for the rest of the season. Obviously I'm bringing Kingpin with the hood, and for the first time, so I tried to use the hood in this season. I took also Human Torch because I saw some candidates in the boss circle that could be fought with the torch. Unfortunately, I had some game issues. I will talk about it at the end of this report, which prevented me to use torch, but well, I can have everything I want, so at least I got a nice fight with the hood, and obviously several fights with Kingpin as I usually do. So let's start with this report then. Let's start with section 1. So the first fight is against the Shangshi. I will just boost up. So Shangshi, I don't really understand why he would be good in defense, to be honest. So I'm taking the fight thinking it should be okay, but already with this suspicion that there is something I'm missing and I may screw up, you know. So I know his special attacks can deal quite a lot of damage if one doesn't pay attention. So I didn't purify that bleed debuff that is that appears on screen. So this made me lose a bit of health. I think something like 10%, which is not it's not little. But apart from that, the fight didn't go bad. Again, by briefing all these debuffs, Kingpin does a lot of damage, and the fight is rather quick. Then we have a ManThing. So again, I'm going with Wilson Fisk. I have to heal the health I lost because of that bleed. I have to pay attention at the indestructible after 1 bar of power. So I didn't notice it this time, thank to God. And so that's why I didn't throw any special attack. And go for an SP2. Then I mess up. Didn't dex properly the special one, but the damage is not big, so then I hit through block and finish the fight. Then the mini boss of section 1. So we were actually having a discussion yesterday about this guy as an AQ mini boss, you know, and we were worried about his special one, you know, because it's not easy to dex. So the way I do it is, if I'm close to him, I just dash back twice, and for some reason, sometimes I manage to dex it. Like here, for instance, you see, I dashed back twice, and it worked. So I don't know whether it's like a psychological effect or not, but it seems to work. And otherwise, what I'm doing here, I just hold block, wait for the heavy attack, and then punish it And by holding block, sometimes he doesn't throw his SP attack. And that's how I managed to get above 2 bars of powers. And the special 2 is easier to dex. So that's it for section 1. Then we have the backup recovery mini-boss. It's a Gladiator Hulk. And I'm going in with the Kingpin again. So I guess the issue here is when you dex his special attacks, you may get a buff, and with power snag this may increase his power, sorry. And he can actually, it will happen at some point, throw 2 special attacks in a row. So there I got clipped. Didn't manage to dex properly, so that's why I think I blocked just after, because I was a bit afraid. Also, Gladiator Hulk has this thing that I think it's just after a special or heavy attack, I'm not sure, he can go unstoppable. So for this reason, I'm a bit afraid of punishing his heavy attacks, his special attacks. So I simply parry. There, for instance, he went unstoppable and actually chained 2 special attacks in a row. So then we take right and face Guillotine 99 on the stun reflection node. So Guillotine, the issue for me I realized was that, so sometimes, you know, she goes like invisible, I think, or I don't know how to call it, but you know, she has this, or transparent, and you can miss, you know. And so what they typically do is just to parry her, to wait for his evasion mode to go away. But on the stun reflection node, you cannot do that. So I had to block, and she would throw her heavy attack, and basically the idea was not getting got by this this mechanic, let's say. So I hold block, then she went invisible. So again, the idea is to hold block, pay the heavy attack, and punish her. Again, one has to be careful about her evasion mechanic. How is it called? Her cloak, or digital cloak maybe was the name? I'm not sure. There I was baiting the special 2. So as I said in last war, the good thing is that Kingpin is immune to her special 2 regeneration modification. And then, yeah, I don't know what I did. I decided like to stop holding block, and then I got comboed into oblivion, as some say, you know. The cloak again. So it's easy to get cornered with between the cloak and the inability to parry because of the node. One has to be careful. Again, special 2. And finally, we should be able to finish her. Then we move to section 2. So the first fight on path 9 is a Venom. So Venom, yeah, I'm always struggling to bait his heavy attacks. I don't want to get to SP2 because I know I will always screw up. So the idea here is to try to keep him below 2 bars of power and pray that I don't get to special 2. I'm putting an invulnerability boost for this reason, because I know I may get caught. This happens to me sometimes. So the node is limber, but you can parry some of the attacks at the beginning. Thank God he throws his SP1. There I get caught. And finally the fight is finished. So I didn't have to face the SP2. I'm quite happy. Then I moved on to Jabari Panther, or Panther, I don't know how you call her. So there I have to be careful with her purifying mechanic. So the idea would be like to treat her like a stun immune and wait for the heavy attack like here and counter it. Again, I'm holy block, heavy attack, and I punish it. Heavy attack, I punish. The SP2 is easier to dodge, so that's why I'm focusing on her SP2. Then I managed to intercept her. So an SP1, hoping I could finish her, and apparently it worked. So here I was a bit afraid of the miniboss. I'm fighting her with the hood. It's the first time I'm using the hood in this season. It's a kinetic transfer node. And Cersei has an awakened ability that each time you nullify one of her glances, she gains power. So I was afraid of SP3. For this reason, I'm putting a boost that would protect me somehow against special 3. And my plan here is not very complicated. I'm not very used to her special attacks. So for this reason, I want to use my invisibility to get an option not to get hit by a special. And on the attack side, my plan is to get to an SP2 and then so that she can get hexes on her. And then try to go in as soon as I can to throw a heavy attack to do a lot of damage. And the good thing is that once you get invisible, you can immediately attack the opponent, because the first hit she will miss with a 120 probability chance, you know. So there I went invisible because I wanted to bait her special attack. Unfortunately, I took her to SP2 and I don't have my cloak anymore. However, I managed to dex the first hit and parry the second hit. Then I go special 2 and immediately attack her. I throw a special attack, but she heavy attack, but she throws a special. But I immediately go after, and you see it did like an amazing amount of damage. It was like I think 60k heavy attack, quite impressive. So then I wanted to take another fight, but I was the victim of a game bug in the sense that I wanted to take this King Root in the boss circle, go with Human Torch, with pre-fight ability. I was happy using Human Torch because I never have the opportunity to use him. And unfortunately, this is what happened. The game never uploaded. And basically, in the end, it counted as a death. I'm a bit sad because I had managed to not to die yet in this season, but it seems that well, that's what happened. Anyway, so that's the end of this war. Hopefully this won't happen again. So it's a win in the end, thank God, because I was a bit worried that my unwilling death or involuntary death caused by the game would take us to a loss, but thank God we won by 10 points. This is really crazy. We gave up 36 deaths, which should be a bit less because I had my issue, but I think a friend also lost like 2-3 fights because of commands that were not responding. But anyway, I'm happy we won this one, and hopefully we can stick to tier 6 again next time.